One of the greatest liabilities of a poor man is impatience. The asset of rich men is patience. See, the vision articulation, the processing of your value takes time. How do you know a poor man? They are impatient with their own process. So every person you call a poor man is an untrained wealthy man. They don't have the attendant discipline, patience to walk through these energies and convert it to usable, valuable commodity to other people. So at the core of wealth is service to humanity that has an economic model around it. When value is taken out of the conversation of money, then whatever you have is criminality.
A lot of us has been told lies about money. Tell us about some of those lies that our parents, our pastors, they've told us about money.
People think that the paper you're holding is money. The paper you're holding is not money. It's a representation of money. Money was invented for the exchange of value. The reason why we're talking about money was because of the need for value to be exchanged. And the second myth that most of our parents told us is that money is very scarce. Money is abundant. What is scarce is the value to exchange it for. Wealth is built through philosophy, belief system. Someone that believes that serving people is superior to being served first will definitely go around trying to create value for people for which he's going to be making money from. Study how investment works. You should learn to invest before you spend. What it means is in the beginning, when you're making money as a young person, that's not your best time to enjoy your life. As you're making money, delay gratification and invest a portion of that money pending when that money grows that you can now enjoy yourself. Now, it is called delayed gratification only when you have the capacity to buy what you want. But if you don't have the means and the purchasing power and you're still managing, that's not delayed gratification because you're broke.
You don't have it. You don't have it. Why is it difficult for businessmen to spend like 5 years also learning marketing, learning sales, learning negotiations, learning 1 or 2 skills that will help them, take their business to the next level? If you ask them to learn structure, systems in their business, they'll tell you, what are you talking about?
There is what is called fossilization of error. So you wake up in the morning, what you know about business is that wealth is about you have to work hard to make money. A lot of business people never enjoyed the benefit of systems. Those people who don't believe that knowledge can make them better got where they are by hustle.
A salary alone makes someone truly wealthy, or does wealth require a different approach?
So the question I'm going to ask you, if you have a job, raise your hand. Great. That's why you're going to be broke for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Do you have a business? Raise your hand. Now, it's a different conversation. Job is anything that is routine, that doesn't require creativity. That where you get salary. But work is anything you do, demands your purpose, challenges your intelligence, and increase your skill. The law of growth says, if you're not contributing 60% of what leads to the increase of wherever you find yourself, you are not growing. You're replaceable, even though you're the owner of the business.
It's a great privilege to sit with you, my great mentor. A lot of people have been asking, you need to show us your mentors, the people you're learning from. I am introducing one to you, and this is Dr. Ugochukwu Umog. That's my mentor. We call him the mentor's mentor. So when I drink from him, I also pass on to you, right? And I've been building wealth, and people wonder the inspiration where they come from. We learn from his bowel of experience. He's a wealthy man. He runs Wealthy Mania, and today we are going to hear from him. A lot of people are asking questions. Why are intelligent people not wealthy? Intelligence should lead to, making wealth. But why are they still not wealthy? So I will want you to tell us. For our teaming youth, they really want to know if being intelligent can make them wealthy. What would they do differently?
Right. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Intelligence simply has to do with your cognitive ability to make decisions, which when they say 1 + 1 is 2, it's intelligence. But what challenges what one is. There are so many people who have passed the exams, but they failed in life. So in terms of academics, intelligence is necessary. Even in life, it's necessary as well. But wealth is built through philosophy, belief system. Now, someone that believes that serving people is superior to being served first would definitely go around trying to create value for people for which he's going to be making money from. But that, an intelligent person in terms of logic will want to consider himself first. Because in your mind, self-preservation seems to be the thing that drives you. But if you can suspend self-preservation and live your life for other people, you'll find that it is anti-intelligence in terms of the fact that you're supposed to preserve your life before you save other people. But one of the ways you can actually preserve your life for longevity is to live your life for other people. So the philosophy that you have is what guides your intelligence. So a lot of people are intelligent. They can calculate 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. But to know the factors of 1, in other words, when you say 1 plus 1, if I say 2 people are here right now and I want these 2 people to get involved in a business, 2 of them basically have the same intelligence in terms of their IQ level. But the person that believes in a particular type of philosophy to say that serving people is superior to me serving myself, that difference in philosophy can change the use of intelligence, right?
Wow.
So I have seen people in the same situation, given the same circumstances, given the same resources, and these people are intelligent and they have 2 different outcomes. The difference there is the philosophy that guides the use of your intelligence. So the reason why you see a lot of surprisingly intelligent people are not also doing well isn't because intelligence is bad. It's because intelligence alone is not sufficient until you consider the philosophy that guides the use of that intelligence.
Wow. Sometimes the intelligence is to their disadvantage because they want something for themselves.
Correct.
It's about me.
Yes.
And that makes them not to build wealth.
Yes.
So what you're saying now is it should be about others. If you want wealth, help others make wealth.
That is correct.
If you want to be happy, make others happy.
Correct.
So that philosophy is, how do I use this my intelligence to serve people?
Correct.
And when that intelligence enters the market, the reward becomes wealth.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Another thing to add to that is intelligence tells you to work hard. Intelligence tells you to make money, and then intelligence tells you to spend it. So when you work hard, you want to reward yourself, right? Yeah. That sounds intelligent. But wealth philosophy says delayed gratification. See, philosophy now comes to say this: your intelligence is logical. Says I work hard for my money, then I'm going to spend it to make my life happy. It sounds very well, but the time you're spending the money you get from your labor, you find out you have to labor again. So at some point in life, people question intelligence. For example, if you're younger, you're making money, you're buying all the cars, buying all the houses, and you're enjoying yourself. At some point, you're not going from 25 to 50 when you don't have the same energy you had at 25. At that point in time, I was really foolish all the while. But at that time, you didn't think you're foolish because intelligently, you made the money. It's your money. You're spending it. But philosophy can come at the level of intelligence and say, this intelligence you have is good. But let philosophy guide the use of your intelligence. You've made this money, delay gratification. Let the money go to work and let you spend the money for yourself from the money that your money has made. So philosophy can be a guide in the use of intelligence. Intelligence in itself is what every human being has. In fact, if you can cross a road looking left and right, you're intelligent. But to understand how to live life in a way that allows you to preserve life and transfer wealth to the next generation, philosophy has to come in the use of that intelligence.
Whoa. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. A lot of us has been told lies about money. Please, I want you to tell us about some of those lies that our parents, our pastors, our uncles, they've told us about money. Okay. And we've grown, we've believed it all this while. Okay,
so one of the obvious lies that is already in the society that is beyond our parents and uncle is that people think that the paper you're holding is money. People think that the paper you are holding is money. Okay, I don't have my wallet here. The paper you're holding is not money. It's a representation of money. Representation money. Now, if you don't understand, correct. So
this is paper.
So this is paper. And this paper is written 500, which means if you chase this alone as money, the chances are you're going to steal this thing. But if you understand the concept of money, it's easy for you to appreciate this paper. Now, money was invented for the exchange of value. The reason why we're talking about money was because of the need for value to be exchanged. So when value is exchanged, how do you measure the value? You have to put some metrics around it. You have to put some numbers to measure the quantity and the quality of value. So if you have this without exchanging value, you're actually a criminal. 90% of the time, the society has made you believe that this is money. I'm going to ask you a question, brother. If I met you downstairs in this beautiful edifice you have here at PAMTECH Autoland, right? If I met you downstairs and you told me, hey, brother, I need some money, I don't have money, and I said I don't have, and you come upstairs in one of the rooms and you saw 1 million on the table, naira, dollars, would you take it? If you walked into an office or a building, walk into a place and they met me at the gate and said, sir, can I get some money that you don't have? You broke, you don't have money. And I told you I don't have. And you walk into a building, a house, and you saw $1 million on the table, and you saw 1 million naira on the table. Would you take it?
No, it doesn't belong to me.
But you told me you wanted money. And you saw the paper with the money. Why would you take it?
Because I don't have the value to exchange it for.
Which means, if you are taking that paper money, 1 million, what would you make you?
If I take it, it makes me a millionaire.
Okay.
But I still don't have the value.
Okay. So if you take that money, wouldn't it make you a thief?
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Yes. Because it doesn't belong to me.
Correct. So why are people chasing the paper when they're supposed to chase what the paper is chasing? That's the key word there. So this is a miscalculation and a misrepresentation of the idea of money. Remember I said money was invented for the purpose of exchange and the measurement of value. Which means when value is taken out of the conversation of money, then whatever you have is criminality. So that's the first lie. The first lie is that this is money. This is not. This is a representation of money. It's supposed to represent something bigger than itself. In other words, this in itself has no inherent value. It only tracks the activities of men.
Because this is useless in China.
Yeah.
This paper is useless in China.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It tracks, it's meant to track the activities of men. Now, it's a record keeping for exchange of goods and services. Money is actually a database to measure how much goods and services has been exchanged. It's a measurement to measure, it's a tool to measure the exchange of labor. So, but when you leave all these factors, value exchange, and you're chasing this paper, the chances are you're going to do ritual money. The chances are you're going to kill people. The chances are because you're looking for this, which has no life in itself.
And the problem, sir, I've noticed is that most of the youths, they start chasing this.
Yeah.
But this is the end game. They start chasing the cash. They start chasing the paper. When the chasing should start from inside of them.
Correct.
Which is the vision they have. Now they develop a skill. The skill turns into value, and the value is being taken into the market, and the market rewards it with this.
Right.
This is supposed to be the end game.
Right.
But every of our youths, they want this first.
Right. So that's why one of the greatest liabilities of a poor man is impatience. The asset of rich men is patience. See, the vision articulation, the processing of your value takes time. How do you know a poor man? They are impatient with their own process. Remember, I think there's a story about a poor man who even kills a game, doesn't even have enough time, patience to even roast it to eat. So
Can't process it.
yes, exactly. So every person you call a poor man is an untrained wealthy man. Every person on earth has the virtue and capacity to transfer their virtues and their wealth into financial, resources. But they don't have the attendant discipline, patience to walk through these energies and convert it to usable, valuable commodity to other people. So at the core of wealth is service to humanity that has an economic model around it, right? And the second myth that most of our parents told us is that money is very scarce. Money is abundant. What is scarce is the value to exchange it for.
There is so much money in Nigeria.
Yes.
Our population, Nigeria, with over 200 million people, and the problems we have are enormous. So inside the problems, a lot of money is hidden.
Yeah.
inside the problems. A lot of Nigerians are complaining about the economy, about the market, about the inflation. But some people are making a lot of money because those ones are the ones that have developed the skills, the rare skills
Yes.
that solves
Let me
those
blow your mind
problems.
now. I was in the UK. I was in London, in Liverpool, and some guys traced me from South Africa. I met them in South Africa, one of my partners. So I think they did a Google on me. My partner in South Africa told him a little bit about me. They flew from South Africa quickly to meet me while I was in the UK. But they're UK British people. So they met me. We had a beautiful dinner at one of the Ivy restaurants. Do you know what these people do? They have some wealthy, rich white men who come into Africa, in the remote part of Africa, and look for those businesses that are not structured. Let's say, for example, cashew nuts. They know there's a lot of production of cashew nuts. They come there, put money to put structure to what already exists. And once they put structure in those businesses, a sense of, like, it can, to the point that you can list it at an IPO or into the stock exchange. When those structures are put in place, foreign investors put money in the local businesses that you and I are walking away from. And this generates millions and millions
Of dollars.
of dollars. Now watch this. They are even pitching me to use my money to invest in my own country under their management, to give me a piece of what I'm supposed to have even invested in without them. It's crazy.
That's the case of what happened in Shaki. Last 2 weeks I was in Shaki land, and I learned that they produce, they harvest cashew nuts.
Yes.
And you could see white men, you could see people coming from China, from I think that was Malaysia or so, coming to buy those cashew nuts. And they will, banks were saying they do trillions of transactions.
Yes. I saw that.
And all those are taken away from our shores, and we are not aware of it.
Yes. There's so much here. Can I shock you? Most of the big institutions you see in Nigeria, including the banks, are not funded by Nigerian money. It is foreigners that give the bank the money they need to do businesses in Nigeria and remit back to them. Most of the Nigerian monies are not in the bank because most of them are gotten through criminalities that they can't really go and put it in the bank without EFCC coming after them. So the concept of money is being misunderstood by mostly Africans to being the paper people are seeing. Money is actually any means of exchange of value. Any means of exchange of value. And credibility is money. Look at you. 90% of the reason why people believe in you is not that you manufacture the part you sell, is that you always get the right part to serve your customers. So that credibility creates the need for transactions. And credibility is the documentation of consistent result. Anytime you're doing any transaction that people are seeing and is documented, is verifiable, with that history of trust of what you've done, it's easy for people to come and give you their currency to trade things with you, right? And the second level after that credibility is credible relationships. Now, as I was talking here, somebody walked into this place right now. Now, this relationship, that the person that walked in, can open doors for you beyond what your own credibility can do.
It does.
His name can give you access to the place your result cannot.
Yes.
So that's the third level. That's the second level. It's credible relationship where people's life can open doors and allow you to trade on their behalf, right? Now, there are people who have relationship but they're not credible. They have relationship, but you can't call anyone on your behalf to close a transaction. I mean, you have 7,000 people on your contact and you're still broke, you don't have money. If you can't call it, then you format the phone and delete it and then become an orphan. At least let's know you don't have anyone. If people, sometimes you're in class, you're in sessions, and people are answering call. So who is calling you and yet have all these problems?
Yes. They don't understand relationship capital.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
So that's money. It's any means of exchange of value. Then character is money. If some people, like today, when I was coming in, of course, you cannot told me you wanted to see me. I said, for the sake of him, I have to come.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, but I'm not doing you a favor by coming. I'm only identifying with what has helped this economy. Without you having to call me, find out where I am, or so. No, you've done the work that your character speaks in your absence. When I was coming, I said, "Is he there?" They said, "Yes." I said, "Let's go." I just finished a session today, and I was really drained. But when they said, "Okay, but he's there at the office," that PAMTECH is there at the office, I said, "Let's go." Right? So that's your character speaking for you. There's people that are coming to you to buy from you. They could have bought that in somewhere else, but they know the integrity and honesty. You wouldn't naturally, consciously sell to them something that you know is not right.
Yep.
But that's not cash to them. And then the fourth level of money is competence, which is I walked into your office today and I saw you studying. And I took note of your notes because you know what I wanted to do? If a billionaire is still studying like a kindergarten student, what is it, Paul? What the hell are you doing with your life? This is what I saw in your note today. I'm going to read it. Every week, which division brought in cash? Which division, can I read it?
Yes.
Which division consumed cash? Which business is growing because of systems? Which business is still depending on me? Where are we losing money quietly? I love that. I mean, like, it's not obvious you're losing money, but something is leaking, right?
Yes, there must be a leak.
Where should we invest more? Where should we stop funding emotions? Oh my goodness. So people fund emotions, right? Which asset are we building? What liability are we carrying? What will investors see if they enter our business today? Let this change my thinking. That was what you are doing. At the level you are still telling yourself that I don't know anything.
Yes.
Most of the times when I go into classes, people want to ask me a question, what do you look out for when you walk into a class? As I'm looking for those who will use my knowledge at the highest level of productivity that will give me the highest level of return.
Yes.
I'm not looking for who to teach. I'm looking for those who will use what I have, which means somewhere in their personal life, they're already building themselves.
Yes.
They're putting more knowledge in themselves because it takes knowledge to understand knowledge. So I walk into a class. I always look for those who are so hungry that they won't spend so much time in applying what I'm teaching them. That is one of the ways you can actually accelerate your result, right? And then, from what I saw today that you did, I walk into classes. Most of the times I have a lot of billionaires in my class. And when I say billionaires, I'm not talking about people that just have money. They have assets. They have influence. They have, Fortune 500 companies. And then I walk into the class. Let me tell you what I say all the time. I walk into the class, billionaires by every standard, and I say to them, if you know you've gotten to the pinnacle of your growth, you've gotten to the zenith, to the final point that you can ever grow, please, I want you to raise your hand up, and by extension, I want you to leave the class. No one
would
has ever, with all the billions,
even Dangote.
I'm like, you see, these people know that whatever they have achieved is less than 2% of what they could achieve. Yes. But what about those who have nothing and yet they're not studying? That is a terrible thing to know.
You taught me the other time that wealth is behavioral. If you want to make wealth, you make it through your behaviors. And that's why some of the things I do and some of the businesses I create will change, people's behavior, people's perception. And if we get this knowledge and it doesn't change us, it doesn't change the way we think, the way we do things, then it's not useful.
Right.
So whatever we get, whatever knowledge we get, we try to utilize it and let us get results out of the act of implementing those information. Because everybody wants to be a billionaire, everybody wants to be a millionaire. The information is out there. You can ask Google, you can ask ChatGPT, and it will give you 1,000,001 reasons, steps, processes of becoming a billionaire or a millionaire. Why don't we have more billionaires? Why don't we have more millionaires? Is that behavioral change?
Change, correct.
We see that these things could be done, but can we do it? And we say, okay, utilize your evenings, have an altar, study, apply the things you've learned. No, you want to be wealthy. Okay, how can you save and invest? But you get the money, aunties are calling you, brothers are calling you, and you spend. Before the end of the month, you're borrowing. But then you still want to build wealth.
Not going to happen.
You're still solving that same skill level, that same skill knowledge you have 5 years ago is still the same. and you still want to build wealth. No one is trying to build something that is rare, something that is not replaceable, something that is significant. And it hurts a lot of us.
That's true. Yeah, and unfortunately, the earth is always in motion. You're never stagnant. You're either getting better or getting worse. So there's something that the earth provides, and there's something you're supposed to do with what the earth provides. The earth provides motion. You're supposed to provide direction. Now, everybody's moving forward, but not everybody making progress. So, as I'm speaking, sitting here right now, in the next few hours, it's going to get dark. Even if we do nothing to get dark.
Yes.
If you eat in the morning by 8 a.m. and fill your stomach with a lot of food, if you do nothing and stick one place, you're still going to get hungry by evening. It means even when you're not moving, your stomach is moving.
Everything is moving.
Everything is always moving. The only thing you can control is direction. The only thing you can control is give direction to motion. And the way to give direction to motion is vision. It's vision that turns the motion into direction. So if you have no vision, you'll be in motion without making progress.
And so I want you to throw more light on these businessmen. When you ask them to put more time learning about business, they tell you they don't have the time because they're little they know. They're using it to make small money. But I remember going to school. We spent 5 years just to get one certification. Why is it difficult for businessmen to spend like 5 years also learning marketing, learning sales, learning negotiations, learning one or two skills that will help them, take their business to the next level? If you ask them to learn structure, systems in their business, they'll tell you, what are you talking about? So how can we get these businessmen to...
So there's what is called fossilization of error.
Okay.
Like what you learned is the wrong thing and you made it your permanent, you made it your foundation. Your foundation of knowledge was error. So you wake up in the morning, what you know about business is that wealth is about you have to work hard to make money. And that's formed your fundamental belief. So you don't know that money can still make money. You don't know that system can help you make more money than your body can make.
Yes.
So that fossilization of error, fossilization, which means making what is wrong permanent, is what most people have. So now, a lot of business people never enjoyed the benefit of systems. Their mind has not been exposed to the benefit of systems.
And it is system that makes money.
It's system that makes more money than you can ever make. So look at what is happening. When the purpose of starting a business is to raise capital, so that capital can work for you. Your labor, the time you have to go and make money, is labor driven. So you provide services, you provide products, you are selling to customers, they're giving you money. That money, they put it back into the business again. But the thing is that at some point, there's a limit to how much you can be. Because the economies of scale says system can take what is small and make it bigger without you putting stress, further effort, right? So that fossilization of error is that they have held on to the wrong thing, and that's all they know, unfortunately. The only way you can break that is through experience and modeling and mentorship. Is through experience, a new type of experience. For example, if you're driving a Volkswagen and all you know for your life is Volkswagen, your body will get used to it. So if you're poor for a long time, you get used to being poor. But the day, for some reason, you pull up with a Rolls Royce and somebody that's in that particular Volkswagen manages by any stroke of luck to enter the Rolls Royce, the type of ambience the brain will experience, automatically it will reject that Rolls. But the Rolls that are comfortable because something new have not hit you to disrupt your current experience. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
So if you've already been doing a particular thing over and over again, that's all you know. But all you know is not all there is to know. So to make that shift, something has to, because any object that is in a rest will continue to be in a rest until external force disrupts it. So something has to shift in the exposure of and experience of the person who is doing the same thing over and over again.
Whoa.
Right? Now, fossilization of error. I remember one day someone invited me to a program. Man, that was crazy. And I was teaching in a university. I was teaching young undergrads in the university the anatomy of knowledge. What constitutes knowledge? When it says somebody is knowledgeable, what does it mean? What are the ingredients to show that somebody is knowledgeable? So I was teaching those young people. There was another speaker beside me. That speaker was about 70 years old. She used to be the former permanent secretary of Lagos State. As she was listening to me talking to these young people, she was overwhelmed. She's like, what? How am I teaching this thing to these young people? How they will understand? I said, teaching them is easier because they're malleable. They can easily, foolishly believe me and try what I'm saying. But people like you already formed that no matter what I say, you don't believe it's possible because you think you're already old. So she said, I want to invite you to a program. And she invited me to the program. And this program, it was some kind of alumni. There were about 45 of them. And they were all PhD holders. And the youngest among them was 65 years of age. 65 years of age, all PhD holders. And I was 35 at the time I came to speak to them. So I walked into the hall and I said to them, when they introduced me, that if you are an old man or old woman, I want you to stand on your feet. They all stood up as old people, a sense of pride, old people. I said, I do not speak to old men. Please, I want you to get out of the hall now. How do you think they felt? They felt really bad. They said, who brought this little brat to come and talk to us anyhow? I said, please, before you throw me away, I want us to check the meaning of the word old. So I asked them to bring their phones out. They brought their phones out. They typed the word OLD on Google. What came out was out of use, antiquated, useless, and weak. And I asked them, any old man in the house keep standing, they all sat down.
They all sat down.
And I said, you are 65 years and above, and you're a PhD holder, and this is the very first time you're getting to know the true meaning of the word old. How many other things have you held on when you were young that are completely wrong, but you held on to it growing up, working at it, and you think that somebody's chasing you, village people? No. You have made permanent a false belief over the years that everything you else do with your intelligence is sabotaged by the wrong philosophy and ideology. That is fossilization of error, making an error understanding as a permanent way of thinking. And what I found is the greatest obstacle to success is no longer ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. You know, when everything you know is wrong, but you're defending it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Something happened today. I was talking about dyslexia, that I'm dyslexic when I was a little boy, right? Like I don't like words, dyslexia. I just said, I have dyslexia, this fear of words. That's what it means, fear of words. I don't like reading. So I just said dyslexia. Somebody in the hall said, I don't know what it is. I said, what is it? I said, it's the paralysis of the legs. What made us bring him out was he said it with passion, like he's sure that is the paralysis of the legs. You know how a poor man is so wrong about what he believes? Like he's saying the wrong thing, but with the sense of passion. And people will believe the passion. You know what I mean? So one of those things that I'm talking about is those people who don't believe that knowledge can make them better got where they are by hustle.
Okay, sir. Can a salary alone make someone truly wealthy? Or does wealth require a different approach?
Well, so in my personal opinion, there are few exceptions. The few exceptions is the 1% of 1%.
Because I know a lot of them here, a lot of my team members, when I tell them I made wealth through salary also, they are trying to how?
Yeah. So I'm going to demystify it.
Okay, sir.
First of all, I wish they were here. I wish they were on camera.
They were here.
Okay. I'm going to ask the audience. The question is, does salary alone make you wealthy? So the question I'm going to ask you, do you have a job? Raise your hand. If you have a job, raise your hand. Great. That's why you're going to be broke for the rest of your life. Do you have a business? Raise your hand. Now, it's a different conversation. Job is anything you do without intelligence. Job is anything that is routine, that doesn't require creativity. And that where you get salaries. But work is anything you do that demands your purpose, challenges your intelligence, and increase your skill. Work is anything you do that challenges your purpose, demands your intellect, and improves your skill, which means the process of work improves the worker. Now, a job person does not care about the growth of the company. He's always interested in what happens at the end of the month's salary. You can't be a wealthy man by that. It's only jobbers that collect salary. Workers collect income. So it's more of a nomenclature. Don't call it salary. Because if you grow by reason of the level of value you're creating, it means that your growth is improving the quality of the company. And there's no human being that employs someone that is a worker that wants to mess with him, because his presence brings the value.
Yes.
Now, so job is anything you do that doesn't require intelligence. And that's why those who have just, I call them zombies. They don't think, they come by 9, they close by 5.
They just show up,
They just show up.
do what they're asked to do.
Now, no businessman has a permanent job description. Jobs says you have a JD. These are the things you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Job says anything outside of that, shut your brain down. Which means when things are not going well, the jobber doesn't care, because he looks forward towards the end of the month to collect money, whether or not the company is making profit. But the worker will leave you the day you don't tap into his concept to grow himself, to grow the company. So work improves while the worker improves. Which means when people say, how much are they paying you? I say, but what do you do for them? It's much more about the opportunity to grow and contribute to a growing system that allows you to grow with the company. Whether or not you like it, you're going to work for someone. Let me tell you. Oh, well, I don't like that. And you get out. When you sell your own business, somebody's going to work for you, right? But let me tell you, even if nobody employs you, you work for customers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
If you don't work for people, nothing's going to work for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So work is anything you do that challenges your purpose, demands your intellect, and improves your skill. Right? There are two parts of this concept. You don't work to make money. You work to create value.
And to serve people.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? Now, the purpose of work is to create value, not to make money. The essence of work is to improve the worker, which means anything that you're doing, whatever it is you call it, job, work, that does not, the core of it is not the improvement of you. It's a scam.
And that's where wealth starts building.
I'm coming now.
Oh.
I'm coming. So now business is anything you do that brings money. So work creates value. Business make money from the value the work has created. So that's why, as a human being, you're not designed to make money. You're designed to work. Businesses are designed to make money. So when you understand the business place you are working, you are part of the business process, you can grow in that life. So now workers are those, I'm a worker. Even in my own company, I'm a worker.
Yeah.
Which means I'm part of the integral process that creates the value the company makes money from. Right? And the only way you can create wealth is to move from being a jobber to being a worker. Because it is the value that work creates that business thrives on. That's a question. If you contribute 60% of what runs that business, can anybody mess with you?
Not at
It's
all.
impossible. It's impossible to mess with someone who contributes 60% of what led to the growth of the company. Let me tell you this. Any place you are working and you're not contributing 60% of what makes that place grow, you're not growing. The law of growth says, if you're not contributing 60% of what leads to the increase of wherever you find yourself, you are not growing. You're replaceable, even though you're the owner of the business.
What?
No, I don't think you got that. I don't think you got that.
Did
you get it?
Yes, sir.
Like, let's say you own the business and you're not contributing over 60%.
60% of
Whoever contributes 60% will control that business. If
Yes.
you do, bam, they'll run away from you.
Once they move out, the business collapses.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like people that run businesses and they have 2-3 customers that are funding their business, that are patronizing them. Those ones, they don't have a business. Because if those 2-3 customers leaves, that business will automatically collapse.
Right.
So the same thing with having 2-3 people that are the only people generating money.
Right.
More than the owner of the business.
Yes.
If they leave,
Yes.
that business
Yes.
collapses.
So if your salary is based on, so I have words for those things. Salaries as a matter of name in terms of what it is not sufficient. But income is what we make it. So I don't call it salary. I call it income. Income is when value drives the income. If value is driving if repetition of a job description without increase drives what you receive, cost salary.
And here we don't pay salary at PAMTECH. What we give is starter pack.
Yeah.
What will sustain you until you start creating wealth, start generating income.
I want to work here. Poor men will not want to come here. They're looking for a place to dodge and hide under the illusion of hard work. And that's why any work you do that demands you to work harder before you make it is a menial job. Any work you do that demands you to learn deeper before you can make it is an executive job.
Executive job.
Menial means work harder, don't learn better. Executive means learn deeper.
Learn deeper.
Then
work less.
Yes. That's executive. So, and that's why you see sometimes you go to companies, the corporate guys, corporate executives sit in the office, and the people lower are now sweating, and they're feeling so bad. Why are they? See the processes of thinking that leads to the crystallization of what to do is the work, not the what to do.
Because it's think and grow rich.
Yeah.
Not work and grow rich.
Yeah. The processes of creating the flow that determines the work, the particular things you need to do. That thought process is where the real work is.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, sir, you've impacted a lot of lives across Nigeria, and we want to know the most common mistakes you see entrepreneurs and professionals are making with money.
So the common mistakes is that, first of all, it is embedded in their mindset as well. Number one, entrepreneurship is not about making money. Entrepreneurship is about improving the quality of services you give to clients. Entrepreneur means someone that improves things. That's what the word entrepreneur means. Anytime you're trying to say, how do I improve my services? You're an entrepreneur. So people think, and that's why there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are broke. But you move to the second level of wealth creation, the third level, which is business. Business is finding a way to sell that which have already improved. So entrepreneurship says improve your services to clients. Business says make money from them. So there are so many entrepreneurs who are not businessmen. So business is about cash flow. How do I sell the services I have? Entrepreneur says, how do I improve the services I have? You can improve the services to the point you go out of business because it is not on the front end for sales.
It's not selling.
Right. So entrepreneurship is a good thing. It's about improving services, about improving something, whatever you have. In fact, if you eat corn this morning and in the evening and you want to fry the corn, that's entrepreneurship. Anytime you're thinking about improving something, you're in an entrepreneurial instinct. But anytime you move into how do I make sales out of that, which is then you're a businessman, right? So there's what I call the logic of wealth creation. The logic, there are about 7 logic of them. So the second one is entrepreneurship, which is how do I improve my services? How do I improve my value to serve customers better? The third logic is how do I make money from the services I render, right? And then the fourth logic is how do the money I have made from my business buy assets that I don't have to repeat the work again. So you make money from your labor, right? You labor to build a skill, but you also labor to build a system that sells the skill. You labor to build a skill. You're an engineer, you labor to become an engineer. You can build houses, but you also labor to build a system that sells your engineering services. So if you know the one selling it, the system is selling it. You focus on engineering.
Yes.
So there's a system that now creates more traction, more volume, more leads into buying into. So you can actually focus on the actual thing you know how to do. But you can't labor to build a skill and still labor to sell it. It's going to divide your attention.
And this is one of the mistakes most entrepreneurs do.
Yes.
They don't value people.
Yeah.
They don't value people. For me in business, I've understood that whenever the vision comes, the first contact should be with people. And those people will be your first product. And they'll also be your first customers. So those people will be the people that will now build the product that will go outside. And they should also be your first customers that will buy the vision, that will buy the values, that will buy the mission. So once you now have the first people coming along with you that are the foundational people that will help build that business, you now see they will create products that will serve the customers you're looking for.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's so people don't make a kind of dichotomy on the qualities of thought. Like people ask me, how do you teach for 12 hours? People are still excited after 12 hours. I said, because I don't teach, I paint pictures. When you listen to me, it's like you're watching a movie because I'm dyslexic. So words is not enough. Pictures are better. When you hear words, your mind combines them into pictures. And until the words you hear become pictures, you can't practice them. So the key thing is most people don't know that there are different layers of growth in the word creation. When you begin to identify your virtues and your values and what you want to serve customers, that's identification. But you must convert them to usable services to the people.
Yes.
That's entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But you should learn how to make money from that services. That's business. Once you make money, what do you do with the money? Call your village people, call all the witches and wizards in your village. They're calling your mother, father, sister. No, you violate the law of growth when you spend money you make from your expenses, from your business. Anytime money comes into your business and go into expenses, that is not an expense that increases the money, then it's a wrong trajectory in the business. Right? Does it mean you shouldn't take care of yourself? No. There are about 3 levels of expenses. There's primary expenses, which is living expenses, housing, food, clothing, this living expenses. There are secondary expenses, cars, like want to buy Mercedes, that's secondary. You can buy a Toyota and get to work, nobody's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But when you are saying I want to buy a Mercedes now, it's no longer about car, it's about pride.
Luxury and status.
No, that's pride now. Because if you buy the Mercedes with a fraction of the profit of your money, it's not pride. Does it make sense? It's a natural state of luxury that is not an ostentatious living, right? So at this point in time, if you are now making money and you delay gratifications and the money buys assets and you live off of the money your asset has bought, then you are now on your way to system building, right? The reason why you work hard to make money, so you don't have to work hard to make money again. The reason why you work hard to make money, so you don't have to work hard to make money again. So you labor to raise capital. Let capital do the work. Someone like me that's been on churches for 40 years, if wealth creation is by labor, someone like me will not be a billionaire. I will not be. Right now, people should have been having mercy on my life. But a lot of poor people chase the cash. Rich men chase the knowledge. And you don't need legs for the knowledge. See? So you labor to become better and use that better to build things that make your life easier.
To build systems.
Yes. Now, there are people are used to suffering that any promise of growth or success threatens them.
Without suffering.
Yes.
It's not growth.
Yes. I had a guy that I was living in Akonwajo sometime. So I was living in that estate. I came in after I left the JP Morgan in the US, worked with Access Bank, left the bank. I wanted to start my process. So I was living in Akonwajo, right there in front of everybody. I grew from zero to something powerful. So I remember I bought big generators because the estate barely have light and I need light. So instead of waiting their poverty to stop my life, I had to buy light for everybody. So I bought a big gen. Now, the big gen has also an auxiliary gen, smaller gen. So one of the days in the servicing of the smaller gen also has, you can start it with a key, you can start it with remote, and then you can start it with the pulley. So that gen has about 3 ways you can start it. You can pull it, right? You can use the key and start it, or you can start it with the remote. So I called the mechanic to come and fix it, come and service the gen. The day the mechanic came, guess what he did? He went to go and pull it. I said, no, that's when everything fails. I said, don't do that. You can start it with key. I started with the key. He saw it. I said, that's the second level. But you don't need to solve the stress. Just use the remote and start it. So I gave him the remote.
Different sequence.
Yes, I gave him the remote. He went back to the pulley. Because in his subconscious,
he's used to it.
He's used to suffering. That anything that promises luxury or easy life, his brain cannot explain. So some people have been conditioned because of long staying in a very poor state. So much so that anything that promises to make their life easier seems to be a threat. And there's no discount in being poor, actually. I don't know why people stay there for too long.
Wow. I hope we are learning. Now, for the potential billionaires that are listening, we want to know that one habit you've seen consistently among billionaires that are building wealth. Because I know you've seen a lot of them.
Yeah. It's work ethics. Okay. It's the habits they have. They work silly. They learn silly actually. They are very ferocious readers. They always come with a sense of simplicity as want to learn. Their curiosity is high. They're always looking for partnership. They're looking for leverage. They're looking for partners, right? They have exponential thinking versus linear thinking. Linear thinking is what can I do? Exponential thinking says what can we do? They recognize there is a limit to what they can do as individuals. They want to collaborate. But in the midst of that collaborations, their work ethic, their learning capacity is crazy because they understand nothing stays the same for a long time, right? So a billionaire doesn't even know he's a billionaire.
Many of them, yes.
Yes, they don't know they're billionaires. You are the one that is thinking they're billionaires. They still think they have to do more, right? Now, they teach the brain to expect increase. They can't repeat the same result over and over again, right? They are not attached to outcome. They are not emotionally attached to outcome. They're attached to process. They think through, and their speed of implementation is so fast. If you tell them something, they do right now. They don't wait, oh, okay, let me think about it. No, they are so into their self in the clarity of goals that anytime opportunity comes, their speed to action is faster because they have taken the idea of goals in terms of clarity of their own mind ahead of the opportunity to come. A lot of people who see opportunity and say, let me think about it, it means you weren't ready for opportunity before it comes, which means you're not even expecting opportunity to come. The reason why you're always reading all the time, studying, is because opportunity is coming, whether you like it or not. It's going to meet you.
They are
But
ready.
at the time it meets you, that's what's called opportunity shelf life. Every opportunity does not wait for you to get ready. If it shows up and you're not ready, it moves on. So my experience with billionaires that are in my sessions, in my program, in my mentorship, their speed of implementation is a lightning fast because they have taken care of themselves in terms of clarity of what they want. So as opportunities come, they implement immediately. And their work ethic is crazy. Like I saw you today. I'm like, of course, it's common to see people who are growing. People can call you billionaire, whatever they want, but you still know it's not even a scratch of what you're capable of doing. Yeah. So
We're still learning. And one for me is that focus. Ability to focus and hit one thing, get it delivered, and move to the next.
yes, that is absolutely. There's something I do in class, and I said the difference between, and I ask people to define focus. What they define is actually myopia. Is watch this. Is focus is focusing, putting your attention on one thing. And I say, okay, is that all? They say yes. I said that's not what it is. Focus is putting your attention on one thing per time while observing other relevant possibilities around you. Now, whatever you're focusing on, time will come. It will no longer be the next focus. But you cannot be completely oblivious of your environment while you're focusing on one thing. So there are things you see, you're keeping them at bay. There's someone there, but that's not what, no matter how wonderful they are, you want to finish this.
Yes.
But you're not finishing this in the complete absent-mindedness of what is surrounding. Like I tell people, have a spy mindset. Be conscious of how the environment is affecting your own result. And I tell people, how many of you have done the right thing and it still didn't work? They say yes. I say because other things are affecting what you're doing. Because your own action does not start in isolation. As you're doing what you're doing, other people, for example, if there's a robbery around this area and there's a shootout, it'll affect here. So if you want to put security here, it's not because that this place is not secure. It's because you want to make sure you monitor people's activity around your own energy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that I know most people who are successful, especially billionaires, they have undoubted, uncanny, undiluted focus on what they're doing. At the same time, they are observant of how the environment is affecting the things that they are doing.
Whoa. It's amazing. We're getting value.
Right.
So much value. Now, sir, I want you to tell us what skill you believe every young Nigerian should develop around remaining financially relevant in the Nigerian economy. What are those important skills they should develop on?
Well, in financial in development, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what I think is
to remain financially relevant.
Yeah, it's money skills, money management skills. Okay. Number one is know that the money you make from your effort is not for spending. You should study how investment works. You should learn to invest before you spend. What it means is in the beginning, when you're making money as a young person, that's not your best time to enjoy your life. As you're making money, delay gratification and invest a portion of that money pending when that money grows that you can now enjoy yourself. Now, it is called delayed gratification only when you have the capacity to buy what you want. If you don't have the capacity to buy a car and you make money and you have money, like the car is 5 million, you have 3 million, it's not delayed gratification. If you have 10 million and you said, if I invest this 10 million for 20%, I'm going to get 2 million. But you can actually buy a car for 5 million. Then that's delayed gratification because you have the power to purchase and you said, no, let me take a little bit more. Let the 5 million, let the 10 million work a little bit for 3 years so that I can buy the same car with the money that my money has made. Yeah. But if you don't have the means and the purchasing power and you're still managing, that's not delayed gratification because you're broke.
You don't have it. You don't have it.
It's called delayed when you have the power to. So one of the skills is to, money skills, investing, right? And also improving the quality of your skills to get more. Because the power of interest is more power, is when there's a lot of money to invest. For example, that's why rich men really don't take a lot of risk. Poor men do. If there's an investment of 20%, that 20% will give into you a year. And the higher the interest, the higher the risk. And there's an investment that says 50%. The likelihood of risk is on the 50%. If you have 10 million and I have 1 billion and I'm presented with an investment of very high risk of 50% and a very low risk of 20% and you have 100 million, which one of us do you think will take the 50%?
I think here greed now comes in.
Because you want to stretch the money, right? You're like, if I do 100 million, 50, that's 150. See, that's that place. But if I have 10 billion, 20% is like 2 billion. In fact, 10% is okay. You understand? So which means the more money you have, the likelihood of less risk you can take. Because you have made up the outcome by the quantity of money.
And because you have that money, you have the ability to remove the risk.
Yes.
It becomes no risk at all.
Yes, because you can negotiate higher and know
the risk.
Yes, the risk that particular act. That's called risk mitigation. Yes. Yeah.
Whoa. And this thing you're saying now, this delayed gratification. I remember while working, the first time I made some money and I wanted to buy a car, my colleagues then they bought luxury cars, But then I told myself, I'm not going to invest all this money to just purchase, a car. Then it was to buy clean Toyota. But then I said, okay, I'm going to divide that money, use one to buy a bus, put in ITC, that'll be bringing money for me while I'm still working, right? A passive income. Then 40% of it, I used it to buy Golf 3, and that was my first car. And then my friends were like, you have this money, why go for Golf 3? I said, yes, what I needed was a need-based car. Move me from point A to point B, right? But let these other funds go and be making more money for me. And that boss also made money that brought another boss that bought land for me also. And today, most of those my friends that laughed at me don't have 10% of the cars that I control today. At least today, now I have over 30 SUVs, and they are still bringing money for me every single day. And
your philosophy.
Yes, and I can still ride. I want to ride G-Wagon today. I enter anyone, 570, I enter anyone, but they are still making money, for me. So the delayed gratification, I quite understand it because I've gone through it.
Yes, you have the means to buy it.
I have the means,
and you said no.
And the problem most times it's also we thinking what our friends will say. So we now will not sacrifice. Let them not say, why am I using this small car when I can afford this? So let me show them, let me prepare them. Then we'll now use our investment money. You call it seed. Instead of planting that seed, we'll now eat the seed. When harvest comes, there's nothing to harvest.
That's right. And thanks, what is luxury? You are sold a lie. Who told you Rolls Royce is a luxury? Do you know if I go into my farm in the village, clean area, clean air, beautiful, my horses, that's more enjoying than Rolls Royce? See, it's a lie that is sold. Do you know when I'm healthy in nature, I wake up in the morning, I'm okay. Do you know how luxurious
Luxury.
that is? Who told you need to buy a Nike? Yeah? Who told you that Marriott is luxury? No. Luxury is that which I create that makes me live in the highest level of myself to be happy for who I am.
happy.
The person that created Rolls Royce doesn't take joy in riding. He takes joy when people are riding it because the joy of creating the Rolls Royce is his own luxury.
What?
That's luxury. He goes to the design room. He's drawing. He's like he goes back. He thinks about it. He draws again, and then he designed it. And they say, just spin the tire. He spins the tire. He comes out, and the thing comes out. Wow! Him like, damn! And he's excited already. He said, let's move it to the market, and people are buying it. He wears a T-shirt and comes back, and people are driving the roads like he goes back. Yeah, let's go make another one. Or you, because you lack some level of sense of worth, you take all the monies, you give it to that guy, and the price of Rolls Royce is not the price of the car, it's the price of the idea of the car.
And you're riding it because you want people to accept.
There's some emptiness because those who buy Rolls Royce are not buying cars, they are buying presents. But the question is, the person that created it, where is his own presence? So we are sold a lie. Now, I traveled to Dubai, and then one of the holidays, we got into the desert. At some nights, we paid a lot of money, speaking all those hotels, nice. So in the night, when we're about to close the holidays, they said we should look on the sky, they off the light, they said we should look at space. Excuse me, that's what I see in my village. Stars. For the first time, I knew that men condition men and determine how they see the world. Whoever controls your education controls your identity.
Yes.
What is luxury? I was coming from Bedrock today. I saw the young people and I was teaching them today. Do you know how great I felt? I'm like, my God, who am I?
You've transformed
that
lives.
Men can sit under my chair, my table, and listen to me. Do you know how luxurious that is? Yeah.
All right, sir. Sir, what message would you give to someone who has failed repeatedly?
Well, failure is not an outcome. Failure is an event. Matter of fact, in the journey of success, failure precedes success, which means you're supposed to fail before you succeed. So failure shows you what's on the ground, so you can see it. And then the natural thing is to get up to see what's up. But if you never failed, how would you know what's on the ground? You can't threaten me with poverty. You can't threaten me because I grew through the process. So failure is not an outcome, it's an event. So when you fall down, it's an event. Guess what? When you stand up, it's not success. What is it? It's an event, right? So
The learning process.
yes, and when you stand up and make 40 million, I call it the law of progress. The law of progress, which is one of the 8 laws of wealth, okay? The law of progress says, the law of progress does not regret failure nor celebrate success. It only asks you what next. The law of progress does not regret failure nor celebrate success. It only asks you what next. So it recognizes the forward movement into activity realm. Number one, it didn't work, you learn, and then make it better, it works. At that point in time, you have to try something new again. So you don't fail. You only keep learning as events get better. Somebody told me, what is the one thing I can tell someone? I said, you're never stuck. You're simply untrained. You can learn your way out of anything. In fact, the place you're stuck now, you learned yourself into it.
Yes.
Now, if you are where you are and it's not where you want to be, what do? You learn your way out of it. This is the only way to keep going is to keep learning.
Many of our businessmen in Nigeria, they are always afraid of failures. They don't want to fail. And they demonize failing. And that's why sometimes when they fail, they conceive it, they cover it. They don't even want people to know. And they don't think deep to now see the causes of that failure, what they can learn. And like you said, they keep moving, you know, try again.
Yes, right.
Try again.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
after your evaluation,
Yeah.
because I know I've failed severally.
Oh,
and,
yeah. I'm the best. I'm the master of failure. I'm the best. I'm the best in failure, actually.
And when we fail, we try to know the things we did wrongly. And when we learn those things, we are launching again.
Right.
And we're getting it right.
Yes.
And when we succeed, they say, yes, but they don't see the underlying factors, the failures.
Yes. But the more you fail, the higher the wisdom you have.
Yes. So they shouldn't be afraid of failing.
No, the reason why people fail is because they don't want to fail. If you're not afraid to fail, what do you do? You try.
You try.
If it doesn't work, what do you do? You try again. If it doesn't work, what do you do?
Keep trying.
Until it works. When it works, why? It has worked. Okay, how did it work? And let's try and start again. So I don't know why people. Oh, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Whoa.
At the root of all these things is philosophy. Actually, it is the way of thinking. You know my story, right?
Yes.
Polio 1 year, 6 months after I was born, and I've been on crutches for over 38 years. I am a specimen to show men that they are powerful more than their physical bodies.
The mind is powerful.
Is this powerful?
Mind is powerful.
It is powerful. Your mind is a command center. Your hands and your legs are accessories. You can learn your way into anything. You can learn your way out of anything. No one is limited by where they are born. They're limited by what they know. So it's exposure of your mind that determines the quality of desire you have. Because you can never desire what you're not aware of. And life doesn't give you what you desire. It gives you what you learn. That's why even if your father
What
is
you've
Dangote,
imagined.
yes, even if your father is Dangote and he didn't raise you, you can't be like him, even though you have his DNA. If I take a poor man's child who has the DNA of a poor man, and there's nothing like that actually. Somebody is born by a poor person and the person is raised under by yes, if I raised by Dangote, you learn what he learns, you're going to be as rich as Dangote if you learn what he learns. If I take Dangote's son who has Dangote's DNA and give him to a poor man and the person speaks to his brain for the next 18 years, he's going to be equal to the person that speaks to him. So wealth is psychology more than biology.
Whoa. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Nice having you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, mentor.
Thank you. Thank you. You're my man.